Hi, I'm your host Jared Gross, and thanks for joining us on The Community Producers, a monthly show produced by community volunteers like myself. We begin this month in Cranbrook, where Dennis Walker is joined by Deanne Perreault from the Public Library.
Catching up with Deanne Perreault from the Cranbrook Public Library. Hi, Deanne.
Good morning.
Things get a bit busier. We put summer on the shelf and get ready for autumn. You're in a transitional time right now, right?
That's right. Although our summer is really busy, so actually the first few weeks of fall when people are going back to school, we slow down a little bit until our programs start up again in mid-September.
Very good. You've been with the library a little while now, haven't you?
I have been at the Cranbrook Public Library for 20 years.
You were saying before going on that you have read to children for many years, right?
That's right. I was the children's librarian, and now that Ursula has gone on a sabbatical, I'm doing the chief librarian.
It must be rewarding when you watch little kids come in, learn to read, you help them and get them focused, and then away we go.
It is really exciting.
I want to talk about the programs, or get you to anyway. What are some of the special events you've got coming up here for the fall?
We have Baby Lap Time, which is a new program that we started last year, and we've moved it now to Thursday mornings, and it will start mid-September. And so we have a staff person who will help parents guide their babies through beginning literacy.
Are you teaching literacy on paper and on computer, or a little bit of both, because it's so much different than when I was a kid and yourself?
Yes, we do have lots of books still, but we also have iPads for kids to use at the library. We have computer databases that can be accessed remotely. We have lots of different computerized technical things at our library, as well as books and DVDs.
How much time do you allow people when they're going into the library? I guess they can kind of set their own, but with the programs and everything else you've got going, how much time do you allot for public programs like this?
I don't think I've ever added all that up.
Yeah.
We have programs for babies, for preschoolers, for school-age children, for teenagers, and for adults and seniors. So we have a large number of programs that run, some of them weekly, some of them monthly.
Yeah, I was just separating from time aside from the actual public and the special programs that go on, or you try and do it all at the same time, right?
Yeah, the programs happen when the library is open. So we have story time happening in one place while people are looking for books on the shelf in another place in the library.
Any organization needs funding, and I know you've got a Friends of the Cranbrook Public Library. How do they work back and forth with you to support programs and to support the structure of the building, too?
We have a great Friends of the Library. They run a couple of different fundraisers for us. They do the annual book sale at the end of September, beginning of October. They also run some mini sales during the year, and in usually January, February, they do a magazine audio-visual sale.
What is the outreach? You're serving Cranbrook immediate, but are you out in the outlying area quite a bit too?
We serve Cranbrook and Area C. So if you live in Moye, Wardner, you can get a library card for free and borrow books from our library. If you have a Cranbrook library card, you can also take that card with you if you travel places throughout BC, and you can join at their libraries and borrow books from their library. You can bring that book home with you if you haven't finished reading it, and we will send it back to the owner library.
With everybody getting busy in the autumn, do you find that most people are doing their reading in the summer that we're just leaving behind here now? Or do they settle in on the cold days, maybe when January hits and you can't really do a whole lot outside, or at least enjoy yourself doing it?
Right. We have, in the summer, we have kind of a big influx of children because they're doing the summer reading club program. When they go back to school, that sort of slows down. But the adults, I believe, start taking over and just go with the.
I know you've got a list a mile long of things going on. You've mentioned a couple. Is there any other events that you want to get out there while we've got you on here today?
Yeah, we have received a grant from the Kootenay Columbia Cultural Alliance, and with that grant, we are going to put on 9 different workshops called Connect to Art. So for teens, for adults, and for children. So watch for those going from September to May. And we also have received grants from the Community Initiative Fund. And with that, we are putting on some special teen programming. So look for teen programs to happen once a month. And we also are going to be doing some computer programs for seniors and for teens.
The updates we needed. Thank you. You're a busy person. We appreciate you coming over today.
Thank you.
Yeah, Deanne Perreault with the Cranbrook Public Library.
A Cranbrook nonprofit society has found a way to raise money for its programs and support local farmers. Bill Brewer explains.
This little pop-up restaurant is whipping up fast, healthy, and affordable food and drinks, with proceeds going to support the Community Connections Society. Known simply as the food truck, the Little Lunch Stop first opened its doors in October of 2016 and is operated entirely by the Society.
What we wanted to do was try and find a social enterprise of some sort that could be fit with the philosophy of our programs, but also generate some funds.
Part of that philosophy centers around education on eating choices. So they would set out to create a locally sourced menu which was also healthy.
We wanted it to have a healthy connotation because many times we go to food trucks, they're delicious food, but it's also not necessarily very healthy for us.
And ours is more about fresh, whole, raw foods from farmers straight to our food truck.
They keep the pantry stocked with a weekly trip to the farmers market.
I really like going to the farmers market because then you can see where it's coming from and you know that it is literally picked that day. So it's better product.
We really have a strong commitment to our local producers and the fresh food that we can produce here.
Speaking of the farmers market, they also accept Cranbrook Market coupons and have a pay it forward program.
Anybody could purchase a meal and any spare change they wanted to put into the jar, that would put into a kitty. So if anybody needed something, we had that kitty to draw upon.
Supervisor Bev Nearing says they currently have about 20 customers per day, a number she hopes will continue to rise.
I'd like to open for catering more than just, 20 people, to get in maybe into weddings and more in the East Kootenays and not just Cranbrook. I want to see a lineup outside my door before I open. That would be great.
The food truck is open Tuesday to Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. For the community producers in Cranbrook, I'm Bill Brewer.
Up next, a look at a new program in Cranbrook, which is spreading joy one visit at a time. Meet Sadie, Beamer, and Ace, registered therapy dogs who, on this day, are paying a visit to residents of Joseph Creek Village.
When the dogs come, it provides them with a wonderful kind of relaxing moment in their world. It also, many of our people have had dogs in the past, really respond well to them.
The dogs are part of the Therapeutic Paws of Canada team, a national nonprofit organization which provides animal resources for human needs. Cranbrook is just the second branch in BC, thanks to a group of volunteers like Mike LeClaire, who saw a need in the community.
I am actually a home support worker with Interior Health, and I see firsthand every day when I'm at work, one of the biggest things that we see with seniors is loneliness.
For LeClaire, the Therapeutic Paws of Canada program would be the perfect way for him and his dog Sadie to make a real difference.
I love my job working with seniors, and dogs are my passion, so this program was just a natural mesh for me.
The dogs are carefully selected through a 5-step application process which assesses their temperament and obedience. Deb Gervin signed up with her dog Beamer.
Beamer is extremely affectionate. He's very kind, and he has a really kind face, and he smiles.
Ace, a 2-year-old Siberian Husky, brought back fond memories for resident Dawn Gone.
A friend of mine, he was a neighbor of mine, he was raising them, and he would have the runs with the sleds and that with his teams, eh?
I knew Ace had a great temperament, that he loved people, he loves, little kids, and, he's so calm and easy to get along with. So I trusted him, and then we were able to put him through the program.
Dogs seem to be very non-judgmental. They're wonderful to pet. They seem to just accept you. They seem to just, encourage you to be part of their world for a little while without any kind of, requirement on your part.
I'm pleased to see them. And I had lots of dogs in my life.
While the people they visit certainly enjoy the company, so do the dogs.
He's already wanting to go and see people. He's already wanting to say hello or put his head on their lap.
What he gives to the people and the residents in the home, he gets back. I think he enjoys it equally as much as the residents do.
With strong community support and a growing list of volunteers, LeClaire is looking forward to the work ahead.
We're going to plan on doing a lot of community events. There'll be fundraisers, and there's day programs through Interior Health.
For more information on the group or their visits, email cranbrook.tpoc@gmail.com. For the community producers in Cranbrook, I'm Jared Gross. Welcome back. Fresh off his third straight saddle bronc title at the Calgary Stampede, Zeke Thurston made a stop at the Cranbrook Professional Rodeo.
Zeke Thurston has done something no one has ever done before. He's been crowned saddle bronc champion for 3 straight years at the Calgary Stampede. Something even he has a hard time believing.
It's amazing, really. When I won it the first time, it was that was huge, for me at the time. Even the second time, and I thought to do that twice in a row, it hadn't been done in 30 years, was pretty cool. But then to be the only guy to win 3 is, I still don't have words to describe it.
Prior to this year's victory, the 23-year-old won the World Championship at the National Finals Rodeo last December in Las Vegas.
That's the pinnacle as far as bronc riding. That's what we strive to do every year. And since I was 5 years old, that's been my dream, is to be a world champion. And I always figured I'd do it one day, but I didn't know it'd come that early on in my career.
Rodeo is in Thurston's blood. The Big Valley, Alberta native grew up on a ranch learning his craft from father Skeeter Thurston, a 6-time national finals qualifier himself.
Every young kid wants to be just like their dad, and that's your first hero when you're growing up. When you're 5 years old, your dad's Superman to you. And in his era, he was one of the top bronc riders going. And if I have trouble with anything, it might not even be bronc riding, but I can look to my dad, and I know he's got an answer for it. And if he doesn't, I know he knows somebody that does.
Being always involved with rodeo, and of course his dad's a great coach, and he's had a lot of mentors throughout his young career, but he was just talented. He couldn't buck him off when he was a steer rider, and you can hardly buck him off in the novice, and you can't buck him off as a pro.
With 3 stampedes and a world title already under his belt, the young rider's hoping to repeat in Vegas this December, and maybe even pick up a Canadian championship along the way.
For sure, that one's there, and hopefully a few more world titles, and keep going back to Calgary, win and lose or draw. I love that rodeo. That's my favorite rodeo.
For the accolades and the achievements that he's done already at his young age, it's amazing, but he's pretty calm and pretty cool, and he's a pretty talented kid.
I expect myself to win every time I get on, and I'm disappointed when I don't, and I understand you can't win them all, but when I get to a rodeo, I have a job to do, and that's make the best ride on the horse I have at the time.
Thurston would score 81.5 en route to a second-place finish at the Cranbrook Rodeo. For the community producers in Cranbrook, I'm Bill Brewer.
Next, a family in Fernie whose passion for racing has been passed down from generation to generation to generation. The 121 trophies proudly displayed in Rick and Jerry Mitchell's home tell the story of a proud racing family.
When somebody comes in that hasn't seen it, it's pretty cool. Gives you a kind of, yeah, they're ours. We earned all of those.
It's a family thing, and family that plays together stays together, I guess.
The family's need for speed dates back to 1980, with an 18-year-old Rick looking for a safe way to put the pedal to the metal.
Too many speeding tickets on the street. I lost my license the first year I had it, so the second year I went to Cranbrook and started racing there.
It wasn't until 2002 that the Mitchells would shift their hobby into high gear. A year later, Jerry would win the Cranbrook Women's Championship, followed in 2005 by Rick's own Cranbrook Championship. In 2008, Rick would win the International Motor Contest Association's Canadian Championship, the same year in which his 19-year-old son Cliff would earn IMCA Rookie of the Year honors.
Racing just seems natural. It seems like that's just what you do during the summer. Some people watch football, some people play hockey, we go racing.
Now the family team, known as Red Rabbit Racing, has expanded, with Rick's nephew Colby and grandson Trayson also getting behind the wheel.
I wouldn't be here without Uncle Rick, because he buys the cars, he works on them a lot, and he's what got me started into the cars. He's taught me everything about racing that I know.
And after 4 years on the team, those lessons are paying off for Colby, who's beginning to enjoy his own success and is feeling right at home.
First couple years it was really nervous, scared I was going to spin out, something might happen, but now it's really just excitement.
Every year, the team spends the majority of weekends throughout summer traveling to Kalispell, Montana to compete, in addition to countless hours wrenching in the garage.
It's fun working on the cars, learning new stuff about how the car works and little adjustments on how it could make me drive better.
It's just nice working with your family when they come out and help. And if you happen to need a wrench, it's so handy to have somebody to pass you one when you're laying on the floors.
All summer they're out here every night working on the cars. Then the weekends we load up Friday night, we head to the track, we're there all day, all evening, all night, and come home Sunday.
It's a little different family bonding time than people are used to, but it's our family bonding time.
There is one more generation to mention here, and that is 76-year-old Bob Mitchell and his wife Anita, who never raced themselves, but are very active at the track, cheering on their son, grandson, and now great-grandson.
I think it's great. They enjoy it, and I think it's good for them, you know, and it gives them something to do.
When I know that they're in the stands, it does mean a lot. We know where they sit, so we'll wave at them when we go by.
There's no money in hobby stock car racing. Families like the Mitchells do it for the love of the sport.
It's everything to our family. All summer, we're out racing.
For the community producers in Fernie, I'm Jared Gross. Off to Kimberley now, where Dennis Walker is joined by Mayor Don McCormick.
Well, into the shoulder season for tourism. Nice time to be up in Kimberley here in September as we get set for a busy fall. Mayor Don McCormick, how are you?
Pretty good, Dennis.
Good. Right behind us, the cenotaph. It's been a focal point this year, hasn't it?
Well, actually, it has been for the last couple of years. But with the dedication finally coming this summer, we're pretty excited about the new park.
Right. There's a little bit of controversy. You got that all squared away, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Well, as with all projects that are complex, you get a little bit of meandering from time to time, but if you see behind us here, the result has been pretty spectacular.
Why was this site chosen? Was there any particular reason, just because it was close to the Platzl and close where people could get to it then?
Well, in part, you may recall that we had an old service station on this lot, and in fact it had been unused for about 10 years and was in a state of dilapidation. So the city did a land swap with the owner. Remediation was going to be an issue for the owner, meaning that we were going to have this thing sit here for quite some time. So we did a land swap and took the old building down, and we had an empty lot here. And then the discussion started about what are we going to do with it. And the cenotaph, a home for the aging cenotaph, was not only one of the first things out of the gate, but the most popular as well.
Great. How do you like the way it's turned out? Obviously it looks really nice, but did you envision in your head that it would turn out like this?
Well, you know, you see plans, but but they're two-dimensional on paper and typically marks on paper. So no, you really don't know what the extent of that result's going to be until until opening day. And I must say that this exceeded the expectations that we had for sure.
Yeah, the proud history of the veterans that served again too, and I'm sure that the families' feedback, it's got to feel good for them, especially as they age, and the families that come back when they get a little bit, when they're away from home and they come back, it's got to be a proud place to be.
Well, no question, and you just need to be here on November 11th and see the turnout from the community for Remembrance Day services. I think we had somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,000 to 1,200 people for Remembrance Day at the last few years. So, for a town of 7,000 people, that's a pretty good turnout.
When you go back to these war times, and there's been a few from Korean War to World War I, World War II, population to base of veterans, it really is. There was a lot of people served from this area, wasn't there?
There have been, and I think more than just the number. When you're in a small community and everybody knows everybody, who served becomes very visible, and especially those that lost their lives. So, that remembrance, both in terms of the celebration on November the 11th, but also, this memorial park now, is very important to the community.
We've got fall getting into high gear here pretty quick as we look toward October next month. What are some of the events that you'll be focused on in bringing tourists back and keeping the locals busy too?
Well, October traditionally was, a real, heart of shoulder season, but these last few years with Thanksgiving, still being a very popular long weekend for visitors, the first Saturday Oktoberfest, celebration we have every year, and the Rotary Club's Rib Fest, we have a lot of activities going on in October that have caused tourism to stay at a fairly high level the last couple of years. So we're looking forward to that again.
Some of those people coming home will probably get to see the cenotaph for the very first time too, if they didn't make it back in the summer.
Well, absolutely, and I think the visibility that the opening of the park got is going to cause people to make this a place where they want to stop and have a look when they come back.
As far as fall goes, we're not going to see snow for a little while. There are lots of it anyway. A lot of people mountain biking around this area too.
Well, the Kimberley Trail Society and all those associated with our mountain biking trails here have done an amazing job this last 3 or 4 years in not only upgrading the trails we have, but extending our trails. We have just recently opened the new Bootleg Trail on Bootleg Mountain, which has rave reviews from the more extreme cyclists. It would be categorized as a black diamond if we were talking about skiing. So yes, the mountain biking has become almost a year-round sport here in Kimberley. Even in the wintertime now, fat tire bikes are becoming very popular, and a lot of trails continue to be cleaned to allow for those bikes to go throughout the course of the winter.
It's interesting, you're in a community that really gets a lot of tourist traffic in the winter on the way, and I'm sure the the resort's going to do well this year too.
Oh, the last few seasons have been excellent for the resort, and the important thing is that when people come to ski, you do need other things to do as well. Not just the avid skiers, but family members that may not be so avid need to have things to do. So we're looking to expand those amenities as we go through the winter time.
It's nice to get together with you. We did come here today to focus on the cenotaph, and before we go, any final words about that? And Remembrance Day really isn't that far away either.
No, it is coming fairly quickly. I think that, if you look at the old cenotaph, once the Legion closed here in Kimberley, the old cenotaph really became an orphaned area, in the corner of a parking lot, and it deserved much better. So the efforts to make this park happen, through Cindy Postnikoff and Military Ames, I think has done the community a huge service, and they've done an amazing job with a very complex project.
Thank you for taking time to talk with us today.
My pleasure, Dennis.
Don McCormick, Mayor of Kimberley, as we take a look at the new cenotaph.
That's all the time we have here on this episode of The Community Producers. I'm Jared Gross. Thanks for watching.